glad you can join us for this live. So, confidence allows you to be very secure feeling in yourself, allows you to be secure in the abilities you possess, the traits you have, even the weird ones too. You might have some quirks. We all do, I feel like. So having confidence in essentially who you are, and in turn, that confidence leads to you feeling more control of your life as well. Hi, Jason. Hi, thanks for joining. Awesome, perfect. So when you have confidence in your life, it allows you to feel more in control of your life. And that helps with things like making decisions and things like that. Because when you have low confidence, you tend to often doubt yourself. You don't think you're good enough in that way. You might also have a bit more of a submissive or passive behavior, where, for example, you might not approach a woman, right? If you're feeling really low self-confidence, you're not going to approach a woman probably and go up to her and talk to her, because you're going to sit there and go, oh, I'm not going to talk to her because she's just going to reject me. Like, look at me, I'm not attractive enough, and things like, right? That it leads to a very passive kind of submissive behavior. Like, I'm not going to do that because I already know it's not going to work out for me. So that's the doubting yourself right there. Another thing too that tends to be associated with kind of the low self-confidence too, I've realized, is trusting yourself and trusting others too. It does tend to go hand in hand a lot of times, I notice, with low self-confidence, is those kind of trust issues too, and letting others kind of in. Another thing too with low self-confidence is feelings of kind of inferiority or not feeling worthy, especially when it comes to dating and relationships, not feeling worthy of love, not feeling good enough, not, feeling attractive enough, not feeling XYZ enough, basically. And the problem with having low self-confidence is, at the end of the day, it ends up being a situation of where you're standing in your own way, because that low self-confidence leads you to not do certain things that will take you forward in life. It holds you back. It makes you think things that aren't necessarily true. Right? So having low self-confidence is a huge problem because it holds you back in so many ways. It holds you back from attracting your dream woman. It holds you back maybe from getting that promotion at work, So it's something that affects not only just our dating and like our love life itself, but it affects, our relationships with others. So friends, family, whatever the case being. It affects our status at work or how we're perceived at work, things like that, our accomplishments, meeting our goals there, and just like other areas of our life as well. But something that I wanted to make clear, and this is kind of the importance and a big reason why I personally speak to confidence and that whole positive mindset, self-love, all those kind of things. I speak to it a lot in this group, and probably more often than other dating and relationship coaches, to be honest. And the reason why is because it is the foundation to start with that you need to have kind of already settled or to start with before going through the process of attracting your dream woman. And that's something I always start with, even with the clients I work with, is that foundation piece, is that confidence and mindset especially. So with confidence, something I wanted to also share with you guys as well, because I think this is such an important message, and every single time I share this, I always get guys coming back to me like, oh my gosh, like that blew my mind, that I didn't even think of it that way, or I didn't even realize that, I didn't even know women think this way, things like that. One of the best things, pieces of a dating advice I was ever told in my life was that someone out there is going to love me for who I am. Because we all are unique individuals and we all have different types. So no matter if you're fat, skinny, tall, short, whatever the case being, is that someone out there is going to love you for who you are. And so many people sit there, like I said, going back to what I said, right? Like, I'm not attractive enough. I'm not, good enough. I'm not X, Y, and Z and all these things. It's so false, because there's someone out there that is looking for you and you are their type. So I always like to share this, especially when I'm speaking to like confidence. And I want you guys to know that confidently, that you are someone's type out there. So it's very, very possible for you to attract your dream woman. So I always like to share that. So anyways, on that note, I now want to dive into kind of looking at those top daily habits that you can do to really boost your confidence, not only in life, work, other relationships, things like that, but also, of course, it's going to help boost your confidence when dealing with women. So the first thing I wanted to speak to was the fact that confident men, this is tip number one, top daily habit, is that confident men trust their gut. So if you guys are actually taking notes, and I know some of you guys have messaged me before in the past that you guys like taking notes. Actually, when I like doing these trainings, please feel free to take notes. You can always also come back to the replay too, if there's something you missed, but just side note. But that first tip though, that confident men trust their gut. So I know a lot of us out there, and even certain confident people that I do know, do struggle sometimes with trusting their gut instinct, essentially. And they might go to other people for advice, on a situation, or they might go look online, things like that. And, depending on where you're getting that source of information, it's either going to be good or bad. So obviously, in the case of dating relationships, coming to someone like myself, who is, an expert in this area, who is well-versed in dating and relationships, is a good source to come to, versus, say, maybe your mom or your sister or, your group of friends, your bros, right? They're not necessarily good sources of information, especially because a lot of times the information tends to be like mixed results, and it just confuses you even more. But I've just personally found too that trusting your gut instinct, usually your gut is pretty right. Kind of that voice in the back of your head. And confident men tend to trust their gut more. So they tend to be more decisive in that way. So when they're struggling to make a decision, they often go with their gut intuition. So that's something I just want you guys to keep in mind. And that's something you can mentally even practice every day too. When you run into situations, don't just necessarily react in the moment. Maybe take a step back and say, okay, what should I do, right? Kind of, think it through a little and go with kind of your gut. And I've just personally even found that myself to always be that right answer at the end of the day a lot of times. So confident men tend to really trust their gut and be decisive in that way. The next tip, I should say, and daily habit that confident men have is that they see on a daily basis opportunities in front of them that allow them to rise to the challenge. So we all go through situations in our life that are challenging or are meant to challenge us. And there's a reason behind that. There's a reason why certain things challenge us in life, whatever they might be. And it's because at the end of the day, and this is how confident men think too when they're faced with a challenge, is that they see opportunities as something that they can grow from or they can learn something from to grow themselves, to become a better version of themselves or a better person in that way. So versus someone who lacks confidence, you know, when an opportunity comes up, so let's say there's an opportunity at work, right? Comes up that maybe you get to be the leader of a project, or, you know, even if you're sitting in a boardroom and you have this really great idea that could really help towards a project or help improve the company, whatever the case being. I know you guys get through, get into those kind of situations at work where you have the opportunity to speak up and speak your mind. And someone who lacks confidence isn't going to take the opportunity or sees the opportunity and says, no, that's too scary for me. I'm going to be laughed at. They'll tease me at work, whatever, or she'll laugh at me if I approach her and try to talk to her, whatever the case being is. Low confident men get scared of kind of those opportunities and challenges that come up, and they shy away. They shy away from taking any action, or essentially take action in the form of not taking action, because not taking action is still taking action in a way, but it's something that really at the end of the day, they miss out on opportunities where they could essentially grow or learn from. So confident men see opportunities and they accept the challenge. They take up the challenge. They see it's not a scary thing per se, or there's the situation of, like I was mentioning earlier, my situation, right? The pros outweigh the cons. The opportunity I was sharing before for me to put myself out there on Instagram on video so I would increase my visibility, so in turn I can help more single men at the end of the day, is a scary thing, but I have the confidence to put myself out there because those pros outweigh the cons, and it wouldn't be good for me to shy away. It's important that I put myself out there. So again, confident men see those opportunities and accept the challenge and rise to the challenge. So the next one I want to go over with you guys is that confident men, at the end of the day, always go after what they want. So again, it kind of relates a little bit to that opportunity, so a little bit to that last one I was mentioning, and where they take action and they go after what they want. So obviously a good example of that is, let's say you're in a bar and you see a pretty girl, you see a pretty woman, because that happens, guys. And you see this pretty woman and you want to talk to her because you're interested in her. So a man that lacks confidence will be too scared to do it, and he won't do it because, again, like I was saying earlier, he's going to be sitting there thinking, I'm not attractive enough. She's just going to reject me. Maybe she'll laugh at me, she'll make fun of me. She'll say, oh, who would date someone like you? Why would I talk to someone like you, right? So that's a man that lacks confidence. But a man who is confident in himself, if he wants something, he takes action and goes after it. So he'll approach that woman at the bar and talk to her. And on top of that, adding to that too, is that a confident man, if he is rejected by this woman, a confident man at the end of the day, yes, it might hurt a little bit. I mean, rejection's always going to hurt a little bit. But a confident man, however, will view that as, you know what? I don't sit there and mope about it. I know that if she rejected me, kind of having the attitude, oh, her loss. I know how great of a guy I am and what qualities I bring to the table. And obviously this is not the woman for me. So, it is what it is. Rejection is actually a normal part of life. There's so many things outside of just like women and, relationships in that way that we can face rejection from. We can face rejection from our boss. We can face rejection from our coworkers. We can face rejection even friends and family, right? So it's a normal kind of part of life and something that we have to understand that it's a normal part of life. Again, balancing, I don't want you guys to also be like, it's a normal part of life, therefore, I'm just always going to be rejected, and, kind of all these things. Obviously, that goes into the low self-confidence. But having confidence enough that not only to go after what you want, but if for some reason it doesn't work out for you, that you can ultimately be okay in the end. Like, you can feel hurt at first, but you're going to be okay in the end. It's not like end of the world situation, that someone rejected you or you didn't get that promotion at work or something like that. Like, just knowing kind of there's better opportunities out there too, or other opportunities too. So confident men go after what they want and they take action in that way. So another one I wanted to share with you guys is that confident men take risks in life, especially when it comes to approaching women, right? So what I mean by risks, I don't necessarily mean, just to clarify this, I am not saying to take risks and go jump out of an airplane, for example. I'm not saying that confident men do extreme things. I mean, they can do some extreme things, but you don't need to do extreme things to be a confident man. I just want to make that clear because sometimes people assume that when they hear me say that. You don't have to be extreme in the things that you do. The point is that you're taking a risk in some sort of way in life because, and this is something I've personally learned too going through life and just one of those life lessons, right? That when you stay in your comfort zone, when you don't take risks in life, and like I said, whether that's approaching a woman, that's, putting up your hand to say something in a meeting, whatever the case being, getting that promotion, whatever the case being, in that sense, that if you're not taking action and taking a risk in some sort of way, you will forever stay in your comfort zone. You will never grow as a person. You will never learn important life lessons that everyone needs to learn. You will just stay stagnant. And that's something that's boring, that's just a boring life. Like, we're meant to do things with our lives and get out there and take risks at the end of the day, right? It's not to sound cliche, but you only live once. That we're meant to do those kind of things. So another thing too that, another tip I want to share with you guys too is that, and this is something that's really important, and I really, out of any tip, I really was excited to share this one with you guys, because there's a lot of misconceptions, and I want to speak to those. Confident men show empathy, but not arrogance. And I want to preface that by also saying that kindness is the most underrated quality out there, because very few people out there have genuine kind hearts. And I'm so sad to say that. I'm so sad to say that because it's so hard to find. And I found even so many men agree with me, and so many women too, when I kind of share that. But the misconception I wanted to speak on, again, what I just said, confident men show empathy, not arrogance. So oftentimes there's a lot of men out there that think, for me to attract a woman, I need to be arrogant. I need to be egotistical. I need to be an asshole. And there is a lot of, if you guys know, and you can share this with me in the comments, if you guys have actually heard of alpha males and beta males. If you guys know what they are, before I kind of go into it, just comment in the comments below if you guys have heard of alpha males before and beta males. Because it's something that I wanted to kind of speak to, because I see a lot of single men out there following a lot of those alpha male YouTube channels, alpha male Instagram accounts, alpha male, that kind of stuff. And there are certain things that are shared, and I couldn't possibly go into it in this live because it would just take too long. But there are certain things that are shared by these sites that I do agree to a certain extent once in a while. But unfortunately, majority of the information that these male, especially male dating coaches that are pickup artists, and just kind of those macho alpha male sites and YouTube channels and things like that, tend to share information with men that literally scares me. And it's very, it comes across very aggressive, very, just a lot of bad messages. I'll put it that way. A lot of bad messages are shared through these channels. And I know some of you guys out there follow these channels and you know, kind of have been, I'm literally going to use the term brainwashed. And you guys are probably going to get upset that I'm bringing this up, the ones that do follow it, and being like, no, you're wrong, Rebecca. It's because you're a woman or something. I don't know. But anyway, you know, that a lot of you kind of follow these sites and they're sharing a lot of really bad messages to men that basically say you need to be an asshole to attract a woman. And that, or you need to be wealthy to attract your dream woman, or you need to be super, super fit to attract your dream woman. I can't tell you how false these messages are. And it actually sickens me when I see men like brainwashed by these kinds of messages, because it's so false. Because low quality women are the ones that are after or have the kind of qualities that you wouldn't want, because you're a high quality man and you want to attract a high quality woman in your way. So the type of woman that is attracted to those kind of things shouldn't even be the woman you want to attract, right? Because why would you want to attract a woman in your life that's so surface level, that prioritizes surface level things like wealth and how fit you are and stuff like that? Like I said, we all have different types out there, and someone's going to love you for who you are. So it really kind of upsets me. But the point, going back to my original type, because I could honestly go on for a while, but we don't have time during this live. But the point is that real confident men, real confidence is not you being arrogant, is not you being full of yourself. In fact, the men that think that's confidence are actually, and preaching those kind of things, that you need to be an asshole, are low quality men because they're hiding an insecurity. They've been hurt by women in the past. If someone's preaching to you, you need to be an asshole to get women, they've been hurt. And they're letting their pain and insecurity show by believing that, by preaching that to you. So, because true confident men show empathy. They show kindness. On that note, though, however, I do want to preface it at the same time, going back to what I said, that a confident man is insecure in who he is and things like that. So while a confident man practices empathy and kindness, on the other side of things, he also does not allow someone to use him or walk all over him. He's secure in himself that he can stand up for himself or be okay with not everyone in the room liking him. So it's a very fine balance. So, and this is something I've talked about in a previous live actually before, where I mentioned, in my opinion, the perfect type of man is someone who takes all the best qualities of an alpha male. So an alpha male is someone that, just in case you don't know, is someone that tends to be associated, I'll speak to the good qualities of, being more confident, being more driven, ambitious, going after what they want, right? So those kind of good qualities that come from that alpha male side, but then also taking the good qualities from a beta male, which a lot of guys are scared of the whole being a beta male. Again, there's a lot of misconceptions that, I don't want to be a beta male because they get walked all over, they're too nice, things like that. So that's why I'm saying the perfect man is someone who actually combines the best qualities from both. So like I said, the alpha male has the ambitiousness, the drivenness, the, career-oriented, going after their goals, things like that. But the good qualities that a beta male has on this side is things like empathy and kindness and things like that. When you are someone that can combine both of those, the good qualities from both, you are the perfect man. And this has nothing to do with wealth. I don't know if you guys noticed this. I never talked about your wealth when I talked about this. I never mentioned how fit you are. All those misconceptions that those kind of, like I said, male pickup artists and, those alpha male channels and things like that are preaching to you. It's someone that can come together and balance both sides, right? It's like looking at a coin, right? A coin has two faces. You have the head side and the tail side, and that makes it balanced. So it's a good, connection there if you want to look at it that way. But the point being is that a real confident man showcases empathy and not arrogance. But it's something I really want to speak to you guys because I've seen a lot of guys even in the group and Instagram and stuff like that are following these kind of channels, and it's something I want to speak to, and it's probably something I will go actually into more detail in another live because so many guys are getting brainwashed by this shit, and it bothers me, and it's a huge reason why you guys are single if you're listening to that kind of shit that's being put out there into your brain. Right? So I'm going to make probably another live about that because it's a whole nother topic. And yeah, I don't want to keep you guys on this live too much longer. But the next one I wanted to kind of speak to with you guys in regards to those confident man habits that, you can take with you is that confident men act like the winners that they are. So essentially what this means is that confident men believe in themselves. So when you're thinking about your life, right? A lot of us have goals in life. we want to buy our dream home. We want to, obviously attract our dream woman into our life, or dream partner into our life. Maybe we want to start a family one day, whatever type of goal, we want to advance in our career, whatever type of goals that you have. We all kind of have these dreams in our lives. We have these goals in our lives. So someone who lacks confidence is someone who has these dreams, but never implements strategy on how to get there, right? So that's a big thing I even do with the clients that I work with to help them attract their dream woman into their life, is that strategy is a huge, huge part of it. You need a game plan, essentially, to make this happen. You need to be setting little goals and taking those steps to get to that ultimate big goal. And that's no different than any other goal we have in life, right? Like I said, getting a house or starting a family, whatever the case being, moving up in your job, that you have to have a game plan in place. And men who lack confidence in their dreams, in themselves, in their goals, are going to sit there and think about them, but never take action on them, never strategize. Well, how can I get there? How can I make this actually happen? They're the type that, and not to call anyone out in the group, but I see a few of you guys. I've seen you kind of have these. I told you I'll never bullshit you. But I've heard some of you guys say to me like, oh, I don't have the time, or, I'm just too busy, or I've got other things on the go and all that. That's something that's, we're all busy, but we prioritize things we value, right? So if you really want something in your life, if you really want something to happen, you make a game plan to have that thing happen, because that's the only way it's going to happen. Because if you don't have a game plan. So confident men, when they have these dreams and goals and things they want in their life or want in the future down the road and things like that, they will sit down and strategize. They will come up with a game plan. They will journal about it, things like that. They will physically, and that's one of the best tips I could actually share with you guys too, is to write stuff down, like physically handwrite it. It's actually, studies have proven that when you physically handwrite versus typing or just not even writing it down at all, but when you physically write it, so like pencil to paper, pen to paper, you will actually remember it, and it will actually ingrain more in your mind for you to kind of subconsciously even think about as you go through your day-to-day, more than if you were to type it on a computer or just not even write it down at all. So that's a bonus tip I'm sharing with you guys right there. But, that's something that I want you guys to think about. And this is something you can be doing right now, is that if you have goals, if you have dreams, obviously working with me, for example, in that case, helping you to attract your dream woman, right? Like, you need a strategy in place. And, in that case, I can be part of your strategy. Working with me is part of your strategy. That step you're taking to attract your dream woman. But, this is applicable to any goals that you have. It's applicable if you want a promotion at work. If you want to, like I said, buy that dream house, if you want to start a family, whatever type of goals you have, is that as a confident man, and this is the habits that confident men do, is that they write these things down and they plan, they take action, they strategize. So that's something that's just really important to take note of. And that's also going to help boost your confidence as well by doing that. So the last thing I want to share with you guys, the last habit, is that confident men have a very strong sense of self. So I don't think this should surprise you guys that I mentioned this, because, if you've been listening this whole time, this tip has actually kind of been interwoven throughout the other tips I've been speaking to, because confident men just know themselves. They're aware of who they are. They practice self-love, that they accept who they are. They're well aware of their strengths. They're well aware of their weaknesses. They're well aware of where they need to improve on. And in turn, how they would take action to improve on those things to, again, become that better person. But it's that really strong sense of self that confident men have. It's so ingrained, that deep desire that they know who they are. They know the type of man they are. And they know the type of man, in turn, that they want to be. And it goes back to, again, like I said, the whole strategizing and taking action, things like that, how they have to get there. But they know the men that they are, and they believe in themselves enough that they know they can be the type of man that they want to be. So altogether, that was 7 habits that you can take with you daily. These are things you can actually do on a daily basis, everything. And I'm just going to quickly do a quick run through, just as a reminder for you guys, because you can be doing all these things every single day. So as just kind of a quick reminder, the first one is confident men trust their gut. So they go with their gut instinct, are very decisive, things like that. Confident men see opportunities every day and where they can learn from and grow and rise to the occasion, rise to take on the challenge that the opportunity presents, because they know they can learn and grow from it. The third one is confident men go after what they want. If they want something, they want a promotion, if they want a specific woman, they make their intentions known. They take action. They, like I said, come up with a plan and things like that. But at the end of the day, they go after what they really want in life. It goes back to the cliche, you only live once, right? Take advantage of those opportunities, rise to the challenge, and go after what you want. The other thing too, very connected to what I just shared, but confident men take risks. They're not, or at least they don't outwardly show it, but they're confident enough that they're not scared to approach a woman in a bar, for example, or sit down, plan a meeting to sit down with their boss to talk about a salary negotiation, a salary raise. That's what confident men do. They take advantage of those kind of opportunities, and they take risks because they know there's that risk of rejection, but they know at the end of the day they have to do it. And they're confident enough in themselves to take that risk because it's worth it in the end. And they know that and they believe that. The other thing is confident men show empathy, not arrogance. So again, it goes back to being that very balanced man in life. You want those qualities, like I said, that are really positive in an alpha male type, right? The things like being driven, being ambitious, going after what you want, those positive qualities, and you want to combine them with the positive qualities from that other spectrum, the other side of the coin, which is the beta male, which a beta male, his positive qualities are empathy, kindness, and things like that. So you want to be someone who balances both. You want to be someone who is kind to people, but at the same time is confident enough in yourself that you don't allow people to walk all over you, right? So you never want to go too far on either end. You want to be very balanced in that way. But like I said, confident men show empathy to others and not arrogance. It's really a big one I want to drive home, especially with men. It's a really important message because it's something that I feel like is not taught to you guys. Even growing up as kids, you guys are often taught to be like super dominant, aggressive, things like that. So I think this is just an important message to balance that out. The other thing too, I wanted to share was that confident men, just to reiterate, act like the winners they are because they believe in themselves. They believe in their dreams. They truly believe that they can buy their dream house. They truly believe one day they can have a family. They truly believe they could get that promotion at work. They truly believe that they can attract their dream woman into their life. They know all these things are possible. All their goals are possible. In fact, they believe so much. They're so confident in themselves and believe so much that they actually act and say, I've already achieved that. I've already achieved that. And they say that to themselves, confident men. They say, oh, that goal, I've already achieved it. In reality, yes, they're still working towards it, but it's that belief, it's that subconscious belief you're putting inside your brain. Again, that's a whole like mindset thing that again, that'd be a whole nother live to go into, but you know, they set in that belief essentially and ingrain it inside themselves. And the final habit, just to reiterate, is that confident men have that strong sense of self. They practice self-love. They know and they own who they are. That's a big one too to keep in mind about that strong sense of self, is that you own who you are. The traits that you have, you own them. So you own to your strengths, but you also own up to your weaknesses as well. And this is another thing too, guys, that I wanted to say, you know, all of us have weaknesses. We all have things we need to improve on. I'm a big believer in self-improvement, things like that. I'm always self-improving myself and working towards that and becoming that better version of myself even too. But, you know, we own up and say, yeah, and admit, yeah, I know this is a weakness for me. That's what a confident man does. I know this is a weakness for me. And then to be even more confident men not only own up to that weakness, but they admit they need help, right? So that's even like when we speak to attracting your dream woman, or if you're suffering from low confidence, things like that, being pretty vulnerable to speak out to that. Like it's a super difficult thing to admit you have a weakness, and it's even harder to admit you need help. But when it comes to confidence, when you can own up to that weakness and in turn, on top of that, ask for help, that boosts your confidence. I look at that as that's a confident man right there that can own his weakness and say, I need help. You know, whether it's working with me, like I said, in the dating and relationship capacity, whether it's, you know, let's say like a mental health issue and you work with a therapist on that, whatever type of, you know, issue you're going through in your life, whatever the case, whatever weakness, you know, that you're suffering from, whatever the case being, is that you can admit, I need help, and you go take action to seek that help as well on top of that too. So those are my 7 daily habits that confident men do on a daily basis. And I promise you, like I said, you can do each one of these things every day. It's not going to happen overnight. I do want to preface that. It's not something that happens overnight. Confidence can take a while, especially if you are doing it on your own. Confidence takes a while. It takes a while for you to get to that high confidence. Granted, because I speak to confidence and mindset, and I work with guys on confidence and mindset, like I said, it's the foundation. When you work with someone in turn, someone who's an expert in this area and a professional, that's going to help increase your confidence much quicker. You're going to get more confident. And because that's the foundation, you can work on all the other things in hand once you have that foundation, and you're going to be more successful because you're kind of doing it the right strategy and the right process, and you're not kind of skipping steps and getting all over the place. That's what happens when you don't have a strategy in place and you're kind of doing it on your own. But I just always like to kind of share this because one of the biggest things that I do for the clients I work with is I help to speed up the process for them, because they don't want to take years to work on their confidence on their own, because that's generally, it's not an overnight thing. It's not an overnight fix. These are real strategies for you guys that you can start implementing today. And that's why I said they were daily things that confident men do. But to get results and to see results, I just have to preface this so you guys know it's not an overnight fix. You can't just do these 7 things, tonight and then go to bed and wake up the next morning and be like, yes, I am super confident. You might feel a tiny bit more confident, but you're not going to be like, yep, I'm a confident man. Everything's amazing. It's all rainbows and flowers and all that. It doesn't happen overnight. It is something that takes a long time, unless you work with a professional. A professional helps to kind of obviously speed up that process, like someone like myself that does work with single men on a daily basis about this stuff. But, it's something that just at the end of the day is not going to happen overnight. But I really encourage you guys to keep at this, to start doing these daily things and to keep going. I would even encourage you guys to get into journaling. I know guys kind of have mixed feelings about journals because there's kind of a stereotype. I don't know why. Some guys think it's like only for women, but it's definitely not. Like, I encourage the single guys that I work with to journal, because when you it goes back to what I said, right? Putting pen to paper in that way. When you physically write down the things that you're doing and the tasks that you're doing every day in regards to, you have that goal to boost your confidence, and you're writing down the 7 habits you need to be doing on a daily basis to help you. And you're writing down the tasks that are associated with those 7 daily things that you can be doing. That's going to help you, because you can visually see in front of you that, oh my gosh, I'm seeing the transformation over time because I'm seeing visually what I'm doing every day that is helping in turn to boost my confidence for the long term in that way. And the thing is, once you do have that confidence established, it's generally pretty secure, especially if you keep doing these tasks on a daily basis and doing these and get into that habit, right? They're habits. So if you're doing these habits on a daily basis and continuously doing it, even when you're already at that high confidence level and you keep doing it, it's going to be very difficult for your confidence to be knocked down, especially on a more like permanent level. But anyways, that's my tip. I don't want to take up too much more time of your life. I hope, or your night, I should say, but I hope you guys took a huge amount of value from these tips I shared. I think these are huge tips. And if it's something you keep doing and keep at it over time, eventually in the long term, you are going to see that difference. If you don't want to be struggling by yourself, trying to figure it out, waiting possibly years for you to really see that big change in confidence, and you want to do it much quicker, I would love to help you guys, because that is a huge, like I said, foundation step for attracting your dream woman. And it's kind of one of those things that if you don't have this basic foundation, kind of established, you're just going to continuously be struggling. Like, I can't stress that enough, like how important, that confidence, positive mindset, self-love, all those kind of things that really are really super connected there. How important it is to have that foundation And if you don't have it, you're really, really going to struggle with dating. So I help single men with, helping them get more confident sooner to in turn attract their dream woman much sooner into their life. So if you've been thinking about private coaching with me, I know a number of you have been kind of a little bit on the fence about it. We've been talking and you've been kind of on the fence, but if this is something you've been thinking about now and, you're kind of especially lacking in that foundation area, I would really, really love to help you. So please reach out to me because I would love to talk and see if, that one-to-one private coaching is a really good fit for you. But anyways, that's kind of everything on my end for this live. I'm going to be